jump on due to the change. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and get started on time at 9 o'clock. Holy smokes, that never happens. Thank you guys for jumping on. I can't believe we are at the end of our 90-day run. I feel like we just started. I think because the holidays, we're in that middle section and it just kind of flew by. So it definitely snuck up on me. But so proud of you guys for sticking this out. Again, because we did have the holidays. And I know it's hard to balance everything. And you guys have done it. I mean, you guys are on here because you turned in your trackers. Hold on, sorry, I'm gonna mute everyone really fast. Sorry. You guys turned in your trackers every single week up to this point to be on this Zoom. So that is a huge, huge accomplishment. I hope you guys have something amazing planned for yourselves out over the next week to celebrate what you guys have done. And so I am super excited for you guys to hear one of my favorite people ever. If you've been on a run with us before, then you've heard her. But if you haven't, because we do have several new people, I'm excited to welcome Jenny Berg-Greer onto this call. She is actually my business/life coach, I guess, that Nerium provides to us. It's one of the best, honestly, the best gifts that Nerium gives to myself and to the other NMDs. I know they all feel the same way. We get the gift of their leadership and their coaching. And she's been my coach for, gosh, almost 3 years now. So we've just built this friendship even through this journey. And so I'm just so excited for you guys to hear her. She speaks to my heart every single month. I get to talk to her every single month. And she's helped me through some very difficult things personally and also, you know, through the business, because let's just face this, it's life. Life is up and down. And so I'm really excited for you guys to hear her tonight. So I'm going to step out of the way, let you take over, and then we'll chat at the end.
Thank you, Alicia. And yeah, let me echo what she said. Is kudos to you guys for completing the 90-day run. But I'm telling you, and I mean this when I say this, no one runs a 90-day run better than Alicia. You know, so a 90-day run really needs a couple of things to be successful. Some committed participants, which is all of you guys, and really good leadership in running it. And so you guys are blessed to have that. I mean, man, I'm telling you, she's a rock star when it comes to these 90-day runs, which I love. So yeah, I kind of want to make this first part a little bit interactive if y'all are okay with that. I love that I can see most of your faces, which I love. So tell me, how many of y'all really do have something special planned for yourself? I mean, don't like create something in your head now. I'm curious how many of y'all pre-planned it. Like, give me a show of hands. Did anybody plan anything special for themselves for the completion of this 90-day run? Oh man, nobody? Okay. Y'all really need to do this. You got to celebrate the end of a run as much as you kind of motivate and celebrate the beginning, right? We always talk about the beginning a whole lot, right? Okay, we're gearing up. We're going to do this run. Sign up. Get ready. I don't care if it's that you allow yourself to have a nap some afternoon, or you go get a pedicure, or you just go sit and go get a massage. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything big, or you allow yourself the gift of going to the park by yourself just to kind of sit and be quiet and reflect on some things, right? Whatever it is, intentionally plan something. I mean, celebrate your success. This is a big deal. I mean, obviously, everybody's not on this call, right? I mean, so there's a select few of you that have turned in your tracker, and tracking is so important. I mean, you really don't. Hopefully, you've learned this through the 90-day run. You really don't know where you are if you're not tracking, right? So how many of y'all feel like tracking is a habit, and you feel really like that you're going to track? You don't have to track everything, but that you're going to continue to track some things with your Nerium business, even if a 90-day run's not going on. How many people feel that way? Everybody feel like they kind of, I see some hands. Yeah, everybody feels like that's kind of become a habit, which is awesome. So I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things tonight. One is around mindset, only because I love mindset. You know, it's so important. I believe that everything we achieve in life, we will achieve in our heads first. I believe that achievement is 80% mental, right? So I want some of you, I'm not going to have Alicia unmute everybody, but I want some of you to unmute yourselves, and I want you to kind of be vulnerable and be really honest and just tell me how you've been feeling today. So let's just use today, for example. You might say you feel overwhelmed, or you just feel you've had a bad day, or you've had an amazing day. It doesn't have to be good. I want some honesty in it. Tell me just today, how has, or maybe even in the past week, it doesn't have to be today, but if you had to kind of state what your general thinking processes have been, what have those been? Is anybody willing to kind of share and be vulnerable on that? Okay, I see. So just unmute yourself. If you want to share, just unmute yourself and then let me know. I think I see Candace talking or raising your hands, but you're still muted.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Perfect.
Okay, sorry, I was trying to like look at it and figure it out. Okay, I know I have not been in the best mindset.
Okay.
I feel like everyone's doing this better than I am, or like why did anyone want from me, or like what sets me apart differently? Like I don't feel like I see these people, they're, I guess not, I don't know if they're competitor brands or whatever, but who are doing, you know, like gut health, and this, I just feel like every person I've tried to reach out to, this girl has already reached out to every person, so it's been like, oh crap, like it feels defeating.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very, I mean, thank you for your honesty. I love that. I mean, and so I'm gonna collect a few more thoughts, and I'm gonna address that. So Candace, I'm gonna be coming back to that. But I mean, it's scary sometimes to be vulnerable. So thank you for sharing and being vulnerable in that.
You're welcome.
How about anybody else? What have y'all been feeling? Yes, Angela. You're good.
I don't know. I'm. You can hear me. Okay. I'm kind of the same way. I'm super excited about the promotions and everything, but I really haven't had a lot of, bites on the new products. And I know they are new, and I know we're just getting the examples and things like that. But I don't know if it's just because it seems like that same way with Candace, like we're on board with all of it and everything. I haven't sold any of the set yet at all. And the other set, like the skincare set in August, just out of the blue sold 8 of those without super trying. Mm-hmm. So I know that I'm not trying to make that sound like I, really accomplished something amazing. I think it was just coming off of our, we had just come out of the July, I can't even think of Get Real. And that was the first actual event I was able to attend, because I have to have a ride in order to, I can't drive at night and things like that. So that makes it a little limited for me if people can't go. But I was so super sick during the last, the Spotlight event. And I had super been just I really needed that. I really wanted that, to have that, fire burning like crazy. And I'm trying to still keep that going on. But I do think that physical being there is a whole part of that. Right. But I'm trying to just get back on track after being sick. And like Alicia said, you can't just beat yourself up. You just have to just get better and then, work from there and everything, which was awesome. Cause I think everybody is okay, well, you just can't do that. And that, you've got to make this happen every single day. And I'm still trying to get over being sick. My body's not recouped yet, but I'm wanting to be, doing more with these new sets. And I'm not thinking, I'm just wondering if it's because I don't have that fire from that last event, going.
Okay. So
I definitely have the excitement about it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with those two. So Alicia, if you can mute everybody and I'll mute myself. I'll unmute myself again so we don't get any background noise. Okay, perfect. So thank you guys. I mean, thank you both Angela and Candace for sharing that. And I'm sure there's probably, I mean, I always find where there's one person feeling something, you always know there's others feeling that as well, right? And so I really just want to give y'all some nuggets to think about, right? So, you know, everybody, when they say mindset, a lot of people think, okay, well, just think positive, think positive, think positive. And everybody's like, I've been thinking positive all day long and it ain't working, right? Well, your thoughts and feelings make up your state of being. And your state of being is literally sending out like this energy all day long, right? I mean, it's like you can get around that person that you love being around because you feel their energy, or you get around that person who's negative and it's really hard to be around and you feel like they're draining you, right? So we have both conscious and subconscious thoughts. Okay, let's first know that. Our conscious thoughts are the thoughts we're aware of. It's like you're aware of you know, silly things. Do you like my hat? You're aware of it's cold or hot where you're sitting. I mean, those thoughts that come to your mind that you're aware of, okay? Your subconscious thoughts are all those thoughts that are running in the background that oftentimes we're not aware of. And they're just continuing to run. So this is what's key. Your conscious thoughts make up only 5% of your thoughts. 5. Your subconscious thoughts make up 95%. And I'm not going to get into all the science on that, but there's science to prove that, okay? So when you like say things like, I'm going to think positive, I'm going to think positive, I'm going to think positive, your speaking is in your conscious mind. Guess what? Your feelings and in your emotions are in your subconscious. So if you really want to change your outlook, you can't just think a certain way, you have to feel a certain way. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, Jenny, how do I do that? Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever like gotten in a fight with somebody, or somebody's made you really mad, okay? And then like a week later, you're telling like your best friend about it, right? And you're rehashing the event to your best friend. And when you're rehashing that event, you get mad again. Like even just telling the story, you're like, oh my gosh, she did this. And oh my gosh, this happened. Oh my gosh. Guess what you just did? You created a feeling in your body without the experience happening. So if you can do that with a negative event, can you do that with a positive event? What I'm going to be asking you to do is to create a feeling in your body without the experience happening. But I'm just going to be asking you to do it with a future positive event that hasn't happened yet. Because your feeling is what is going to attract the energy you need to make that thing happen. But you know, to say an affirmation and to continue to feel fear and doubt, you are attracting fear and doubt into your life. But to say an affirmation and then think about the feelings that go with it and adopt those feelings now, that's where the power is, right? Is in our feelings. I always say our feelings are the window to our teachable moments. And what do I mean by that? You know, when I start feeling angry, rather than just letting that happen in my subconscious mind, I have to think to myself, why am I feeling angry? What is triggering this? And when we can get down to that, we start getting down to what I call our limiting beliefs. We all have limiting beliefs. We all have a ton of them, right? So you might have a limiting belief about your Narian business. I mean, I kind of heard, you know, in Angela and Christine's vulnerability, which I loved them sharing that, and so appreciate that. You know, Angela has this limiting belief that she's not sure she can sell the new product. You know, Candace has this limiting belief that somebody else has already gotten to all the people, and so she might not be able to sell anything, right? So, you know, we've heard what we focus on grows, right? Well, how much in the last week, I mean, I'm not asking y'all to answer this question. I mean, answer it to yourself, right? How much time in the last week have you given to fear, doubt, and worry? You've been thinking about how much, you know, you can't sell the new product, or you're not at the rank you want, or you're not at this, or you're not at that. Think about how much time you've probably dedicated to that. If I'm guessing, it's a large percentage of time, probably in the double digits. Now I'm going to ask you how much time you've given to just being still and focusing on what you want to happen. I'm not talking about like you're driving down the road and a thought pops in your head. You go, ooh, let me think about that. I mean, I'm talking about intentional, quiet time where in your mind, you're just focused on what you want to happen. I would guess most of you would probably say in the last week, you've probably spent less than 5 minutes on that. That's what I get from most team calls when I do it. So you're in the norm, right? But if what we focus on really grows, then don't we think we need to be spending a little bit of time focused on what we want to happen? I know that sounds so simple, but then we don't do it. You know, this is why every morning I literally spend an hour in meditation. I mean, I just quiet my mind and I start visualizing what I want to happen. Now, I'm not asking you to start there. I mean, some of y'all probably just went into panic mode when I said that. Trust me. Alicia knows I'm all about attainable goals. I'm not asking you to start with an hour every morning of meditation. So we're gonna talk about what I want you to do. But you know, you will only accept and believe thoughts equal to your emotional state. I want you to think about that. You will only accept and believe thoughts equal to your emotional state. So if you're always feeling stressed out and overwhelmed, what kind of thoughts are you going to accept and believe? Thoughts that reconfirm you're overwhelmed and stressed out. If you have this feeling that you're not going to be successful in this business, if you have that feeling of fear and doubt, what thoughts will you accept? Right? You're going to be accepting the thoughts equal to that. So what I want you to do is we literally have to teach our bodies emotionally what our future feels like. There's only two ways to live your life, by cause and effect, meaning something good happens, I'm happy. Something bad happens, I'm sad. Or you can live your life by causing and effect, meaning you're going to choose in advance how you feel about something, and you're going to live by that emotion so much so that you're causing it to happen in your life. I'm going to give you a simple example. I mean, this is a pretty simple example, but I did this. My dad and I put on this amazing retreat this weekend for some clients who had been really dedicated into meditation and taking them to the next level in meditation. And, you know, one of our clients was flying home. She got to Dallas and her flight was canceled. They said there was something like 800 people stranded and there was no flights, and she was not going to get a flight out until 8 o'clock today. So she was trying to fly out yesterday at 6. And she just said, you know what? Normally that'd make me really mad, but I'm going to start visualizing that I'm going to get on a flight. So she started walking and she started adopting that feeling of visualizing herself sleeping in her bed with her son, who she hadn't seen in a really long time because he was living overseas, picking her up at the airport because that was the plan. Something told her to go to the ticket agent one more time. She went one more time and she said, can you check if there's flights? And the guy goes, there's not any flights. She said, I just want you to check. Just for me. Will you check one more time? He checked. He said, you're not going to believe this. There's one flight left, one seat. Leaves in 20 minutes. I'll put you on it. So she had to make a connection. And he said, your connection's only 5 minutes. You're not going to make it. She said, oh, I'll make it. I will make my connection. Sure enough, she landed. They told her, no need to even run to your gate. You're not making that flight. She looked at him. She said, I'm going to make it. She ran to another terminal to her other gate. When she ran up, they said, hey, and they called her by her name. They said, hey, nice to see you. You made the flight. We waited on you. And she just started crying. And they actually said, no, we're kidding. We didn't wait on you. We're missing one of the flight crews, but you got in luck. Just because we're missing one of the flight crews, you get to get on this plane. And she made that plane. And she emailed me last night, like at midnight. She said, Jenny, I now know what you mean to manifest what you want. She said, the whole time I felt I was sending that energy out. I always, and it's not like a genie in a bottle. So I'm not trying to tell you it's going to be like a genie in a bottle. But I promise you, people are reading your energy more than they're listening to your words. So if you're driving to have a sit down, let's just pretend you're driving to have a sit down. And the whole time in that drive, that little voice inside of your head is going, this isn't going to work. Nobody else has bought the kit. I haven't sold this product anywhere else. This is never going to work. Blah, 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 right? When you walk up to that sit down, you might be saying all the right stuff, but guess what energy you're putting off? Your subconscious energy is, they're not going to buy this product. They're never going to do it. They're never going to, right? So you have to teach your body emotionally what your future feels like. And so you have to decide, how do you want to feel in your future? Do you want to be feeling fear and doubt, or do you want to be living by hope and abundance? But I promise you, if you live by your emotions of the past, your past will become your future. So that's why I want you to do, have any of y'all, give me a show of hands, have any of y'all ever heard me do the 1 minute challenge? Has anybody ever heard my 1 minute challenge? I have a few people on there. Has anybody done it? Joni, Amanda, I see hands. Have y'all been doing my 1 minute challenge? Okay, I see Jody kind of shaking her head. So Jody, do you have any amazing things to report from the 1 minute challenge? She's unmuting herself. Wait, she's not unmuted. Alicia, can you unmute Joni? Okay, everybody's unmuted, I think. Hey, Joni?
It's okay. It's
Oh, yeah.
okay. Like, I am super sick right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I called on you and you're super sick.
It's okay.
Do you have anything to report from your 1 minute challenge?
Oh my gosh. No, I'm feeling on the spot here. I'm sorry. Can you come back to me? I know.
Yes,
I know
think about it.
it's in there. Let Alicia go first and come right back to me.
Yeah. Lisa, you're muted. You're talking. We can't hear you.
How am I muted? When everyone else isn't. This darn Zoom. Technology is not my friend. If you know me well enough, technology and I do not get along. No,
Don't say that. That's a limiting belief.
I know,
Alicia.
right? I keep doing it. It just doesn't. Actually, and I got on here early. I'm like, had my computer open and everything because so I was like, today is gonna be different. So Jenny and I have talked a lot about, and I could talk forever about this, but Jenny and I have really talked about the 1 minute challenge. I mean, I've been practicing positive affirmations for a long time and attaching feelings, and I wake up earlier than my family and I spend 1 minute visualizing how I expect my day to go and what that feeling is going to look like, and how I feel emotionally, because it just puts me in a better place. I mean, it just mentally puts me in a better place and prepared, and I deal with things that normally would feel like they're attacking you. Does that make sense? Like, we all have things that happen in our day and we're feeling like almost like attacked. And so I handle those things so differently. So it's really just, I can't say it's just one thing, because I've been doing this for a while. I mean, this has been like a long time that we've been talking about this. We talk about it every month, actually. I don't know that I have like a one instance, but it's more of just become part of my daily life.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It doesn't mean that things aren't going to make you mad in the day. What it means is when things make you mad, you're more awake to it, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm being triggered. I have a choice in this. Do I want to be mad, or do I want to live in fear and doubt, or do I want to go back to hope and abundance? I have a choice. Right, so that's what's important. So what I want you guys to do, those of you who already know it, keep doing it. Those of you it's new to, 1 minute, all you do is wake up a little bit earlier, like literally, and you can sit up in bed and swing your feet to the side. Do not lay in bed, though. You will fall back asleep, I swear to you. Our bodies associate bed with sleep. You'll go back to sleep. But just spend 1 minute and focus on one of your affirmations. I am an amazing recruiter. My Miriam business is growing, and whatever that is. But here's the trick. Then attach 2 feelings to that affirmation. Do you want to be feeling joy and abundance? Do you want to be feeling financially secure? What are your 2 feelings that go with that affirmation? And then I want you to conjure up those feelings in your body. And you might be saying, okay, how do I do that? Well, the same way you can conjure up being mad a week later without the experience happening, I just want you to conjure up the good feelings. So if you want to feel joy, replay an experience in your mind when you last felt joyful. Like one of the experiences I replay in my mind oftentimes is the birth of my children. I mean, to me, joy is deeper than happiness. And I just can remember that baby being put on my chest for the first time and that feeling, but replay an experience when you last felt confident, if that's what you want your feeling to be. And when you start then marrying your affirmations to your feelings, now that's where the magic starts to happen. So that's the first thing I want you guys to do. And then I'm going to kind of switch gears right now, because the second thing I want to talk to you about is planning, because planning is so important. I truly believe you can lead a life of abundance. I believe you can have it all if you become a master planner, right? I really believe that. What happens is we all have these natural human instincts, and we're reactive by nature. And so we have to train ourselves to be proactive. Now, for some of you, this is going to feel really uncomfortable, right? Some of you, it might come more naturally. But if it feels uncomfortable, I tell people to get excited, because that means you have stepped into the river of change. And you got to step in that river of change to reach your next level, right? So I want you to start. A couple of things I want you to do. One, I want you to ask yourself 2 questions every night. Number 1, when can I work my Nerium business? And I want you to block it out. How many of you are planning your day before your day begins? Let me see a show of hands. Anybody? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we got some people. Good.
Joni better, just FYI, I'm going to call her out on this, because we sat and put together her David Bird planner.
Oh, good.
Planner together. She better, she better be.
That's right.
Whatever.
In your daily planning, I still want you to do this. I want you to ask yourself, when can I work my Nerium business tomorrow? You may have 30 minutes. You may have 3 hours. I don't care. I want you to block it out. And when you block it out, I want you to mentally make the decision. I'm going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I'm not going to be cooking dinner. I'm going to be 100% focused in that time. I believe you can do Nerium a little bit each day if you do the right activity and you're 100% focused on it. I don't think you have to spend 4 hours a day on Nerium to grow at all. I think you could 30 minutes, an hour, but you got to be dedicated and you got to do the right stuff. You got to be consistent. So block it out. When can you work your Nerium business tomorrow? Block it out when you can be 100% focused, right? And then question number 2, what am I going to do during that time? So if you only have 30 minutes to spend on your Nerium business, I don't want you spending the first 10 deciding what you're doing, right? And then guess what you're going to do? You're going to go to this. I love mine just as much as everybody else, but if you only have 30 minutes to work your Nerium business, you're going to be like, you're going to be checking Facebook. You're going to be answering text messages. You're going to be doing all of that. And guess what? 20 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour is going to go by and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? You got sucked into like the Facebook hole, right? I mean, and I want you to hear my voice in your head. And my voice would say this: what did you just do to grow your business? Right? I coach several NMDs that have full-time jobs. I coach an NMD that still has a very high-level IT job in corporate America, and she's an NMD. So it can be done. And she didn't get placement. She earned it up herself. So you can, when she has a job in corporate America, and we have several other people that had full-time jobs, that means basically from 8 to 5 was off limits, right? And I'm sure some of you have jobs as well and you're in the same boat. So block your time when you can work Nerium, even if it's only for 30 minutes, and decide what you're going to do during that time. You know, it's called Parkinson's Law. Work will expand to the time we give it. So, you know, people like yourselves that are high achievers, you're finishing the 90-day run, so awesome. I also don't want you to get burned out, right? I have a tendency to talk to some people who they just go, oh my gosh, I do Nerium 24/7. Nerium's taken over my life. And they say it as if it's Nerium's fault. And I kind of remind them, well, but that's how you've chosen to work it. You don't have to work it that way. So you have to know in this is that you have choices. And you can work your business where you can do Nerium a little bit each day and you can still grow. But you got to have the dedicated time to it, and you got to focus on what's most important, which are growth, revenue producing activities, right? That's the other thing. Last, I'll take some few questions that I want to mention. You know, I want y'all to think about the 80-20 rule, okay? Nerium provides amazing training opportunities. I mean, it's one of the best companies I've ever seen, right? You get Nerium you get team calls like this, you get the corporate update call, you get regionals. I mean, you get amazing training opportunities, okay? What I've seen some people make the mistake of, though, when they look at their time that they're spending in Nerium, they're spending 80 to 90% in training and 10% in revenue producing. And yet they're saying they're really busy with Nerium and Nerium's taking up all this time. I want you to think about in a given week how much time you can spend on Nerium. And I want 80% of your time on revenue producing activity. So what is that? Sit down. I mean, the stuff you're tracking in the 90-day run, that's revenue producing activity, right? So think about that when you're asking yourself those two questions. Am I spending 80% of my time in revenue producing activity? Now that might mean in every given week, you might have to say no to a certain training activity, right? And Alicia can help guide you with which one's the best one to say no to that week. And that's okay, right? I mean, Nerium U is amazing. It provides you all the information you need. But if you're spending 80% of your time in training and only 20% in revenue producing, that's just something to be really aware of for yourself and aware of for your teams. Because I have seen a lot of people fall into that mistake. And if you do that, here's what's going to happen. You're going to be the most well-trained, underpaid person in Nerium. And who wants that, right? No one. So I would really love for y'all to, tackle mindset with the 1 minute challenge. Just give it a try. I promise you, just like Alicia, you're going to have amazing things happen, even if it's just how you handle your day. But that feels so much better, right?
Can I
The
add
1
to
minute
that now?
challenge. Oh, what? Sorry, go, Joni.
Can I add to that now? That
Absolutely. Yes.
So I get the fabulous joy of having Alicia as my sponsor and one of my best friends, which means as mean as you guys all think she is to you, she's a lot meaner to me, which I absolutely
I'm
love.
not mean. I'm just very frank.
She's very great for accountability. I admitted to her that my planner had been sitting there not used for a while, and my husband, who listens to me, got me all of the 2018 refill packs for Christmas. And so Alicia and I sat down and had lunch, and we don't live very far apart. So I just have this vision of her ringing my doorbell at any random time, asking to see my planner. So it's a great accountability to stay on it. But I went through the last 18 months have been completely and totally chaotic for our family. We moved. I had a job that was just very, very bad on several different levels, corporate America. And I worked with some just really bad people. And one of the things that Alicia was talking to me about was, you remember what Jenny said, because I believe you talked about it when you met with us at breakfast and stuff before conference, was let's get your minute, let's, refocus your mind before you go to work of a morning. And I really honestly had to do that in order to deal with them, because they got a lot of their joy from taking other people down. And so my positive affirmations became part of my everyday life, and I had to spend time on them every morning. I will admit, it wasn't always that first morning when I got up, because I got 3 kids and it was kind of crazy. But I had, unfortunately, one of the things about that job was I had a 45-minute drive to work. And so aside from my personal development, I always took a minute in my car before I went in. I always sat in the parking lot to collect myself and, go through that minute that you've talked about so many times about, I am a decent attorney. I am a good attorney. I don't need them. They do not shape who I am. You are the sum of those that you are surrounded by. And even though I was with them 8 hours a day, those were not the people that I wanted to be part of my sum. And so I really focused on all of the positive parts and all of the positive affirmations. And one of them that I added, which sounds so silly, but this is temporary. This is a stepping stone. This is not God's plan for me. And I had to keep adding that. And so it all worked out in the end, and it's worked out much, much better than I could have ever imagined. But thoughts are things, definitely. And I do know that there are times I probably would have gotten myself fired or not been a very good professional role model to all of our interns and law clerks had I not taken that little bit of time to collect myself before going in every day. So that definitely came from you, Jenny, which I appreciate, but you have a great student in Alicia as well, because she was always there to remind me of the training that we had and what I was supposed to be doing with that. So
that's awesome.
And I want to add to that, because Joni found an amazing law firm, a big law firm here in Indianapolis. It was named Partner.
Oh, awesome.
So that's a huge accomplishment. And she was right. That was a stepping stone. That wasn't God's plan for her. And she is a great attorney.
That is awesome. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Joni. And, it's about us deciding in advance, we are our thoughts, right? We become our thoughts. And so we have got to start becoming an observer of our thoughts. And the 1 minute challenge is a great way to do that. So do the 1 minute challenge. Start asking yourself those 2 questions every day. When can I work my Nerium business and what am I going to do during that time? And last but not least, start looking at that 80-20 rule, making sure that you're spending 80% of your time in revenue producing and then 20% in training. And I promise you, if you just commit to those things for the next 30 days, amazing things will happen. But I promise you, it's not always going to feel comfortable. There's going to be days where that little voice inside of your head says, oh, you don't need to ask yourself those 2 questions. That's silly. Don't do that tomorrow. Those are your natural human instincts talking. So push past those, right? Because that's what you're going to have to do. Success does not rest in your comfort zone. So I would love to answer any questions, you guys. You can ask me about the achievement planner, anything I talked about tonight. I always say any questions fair game. I might not always have an answer, but any questions fair game.
Everyone should be unmuted. So if you have a question, no, you're not. Did you all nice people, did you all mute yourself? I don't remember doing that. Anyway, go ahead. Now you're all unmuted. Does anyone have a question? Anyone? No?
Everyone's speechless.
Well, I want to add to the whole planning thing because, again, I've been with Nerium for 3.5 years. I've been working with Jenny for it's been over 3.5 years, but I've been working with Jenny for almost 3 years. You guys, I still open up my planner every single night and look at my day for tomorrow and plan when I'm going to work Nerium and what I have to do. That doesn't change. It's part of my routine. It's part of me. It's part of who I am. I jokingly said this to Joni when we had lunch for her one-on-one this month, and I carry this everywhere with me except for into church because it's still my car. It's still with me. It's funny when I actually forget my planner. My kids are like, "Where's your planner? Where's your planner?" I mean, they know it's part of me, and it's because I created, in the beginning, they told me to carry it around everywhere, so I did. And then it just became who I was and who I am. But I still, to this day, you guys, like Jenny said, there are so many NMDs. I'm going to use Desi Vetter for an example. She's on our team, and she is a full-time nurse practitioner, a mom of 3, an NMD, and still works a full-time job and does this on the side. They didn't get that way. They didn't get to NMD by working Nerium 4, 5, 6, 8 hours a day. I don't work Nerium 4, 5, 6, 8 hours a day. We do this for time freedom, right? I don't want you to, if your goal is to get to NMD and you want to quit your job, I don't want you then to replace it with a full-time job. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't give you the time freedom back. I want you to, just like Jenny said, I do these things every single day because I want to be consistent and continue to grow my business, but I also want to be proactive versus reactive, and make sure that I am being the most effective in a shorter amount of time so that I can still be mom. I can still go volunteer in school. I can, fulfill a passion that have time to fulfill a passion that's near and dear to my heart. Those are the things that that fill my soul and things I want to do. So we just got to learn to be effective and efficient, and as efficient as possible, I guess is what I'm going at. Jenny Daly, did you have a question? No, I thought she was speaking or wanted to speak. Sorry. So, do you guys have questions at all for Jenny? Things you're struggling with? Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jenny, for joining us. I really appreciate it.
You are welcome, and kudos to y'all for completing the 90-day run. And I really want all of y'all this next week to plan some celebration for yourself, right? It can be little. I mean, you can drive through and get a milkshake. I don't care what it is, but plan something to celebrate your 90-day run, right? Just to have it can be a celebratory glass of wine, whatever it is. Plan your celebration, keep tracking, keep up the good work, and you guys are doing amazing stuff. So thank you for having me. Blessings to all of you, and I look forward to talking to you all again soon.
Awesome. Thanks so much, and bye.
Thank you.
Hey guys, real fast before we hop off, I just want to make sure that I know I say I'm proud of you, but I really want you to, like, I hope it comes across how proud I am of you, because I'm telling you, this was a run that I didn't, and I don't want this to come across wrong either, that I didn't know that I wanted to do. I don't do runs back to back typically, and we had just come out of a run, and then we went into another one, and then you threw the holidays in, and I'll be honest, I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know if there was even going to be a group that even stuck with it. It's also, we had a different setup this time, and so it was just, there were a lot of variables that were not how we normally have done them in the past. And for some of you who were on here that have never done one before, you didn't notice any different, anything different. But for me, it was definitely different. So I'm just really super proud of you guys, because it is hard to do this anyway, and then it's even harder when you throw in those other curveballs. And so I really do want you guys to plan something that you can just go celebrate with, because you deserve it. You truly do. And like Jenny said, it can really be anything. But the whole point of this is just creating that habit of consistency. Guys, the things that we're tracking are those income things. So making sure, getting your samples out, doing your 2-a-day contacts. I didn't get to this point. All of the leaders did not get to where they are by chance or by doing any secret sauce. I mean, it really is just doing those things that seem simple, and they don't take very much time. Doing those things over and over and over again, even when you get the no's, and even when you feel like you're not doing enough, or that so-and-so is already, this so-and-so's already reached out to all these people. You just have to keep going, you guys. I just want to stress, this week alone, here's my story. This week alone, I've had 3 people that have reached out to me. 2 of them have bought. The 3rd one just reached out to me tonight. Or in the last week, that I have messaged either years ago. One of them was 2 years ago. I sent a message to sample our night cream, and she never responded back. Reached out and ended up buying 2 bottles of the Prolistic lotion. I have another one that sampled, didn't like the night cream years ago, ended up buying the set. And tonight, another person that I reached out to years ago to sample and said no, came back around. You guys, don't let the no's dictate your emotions, your feelings, and your decisions on how you feel about yourself in this business. Because what will happen is you will let them take you out of the game, and you won't be around for those people to come back around when they do come back around, because they will. Some of those people that I sampled I reached out to years before most of you even got in this business. My newest teammate is someone I worked on for a year. Again, longer than most of you have been in this business. But I wasn't going to let that one no, or those months where she said she was going to sign up but didn't, dictate my business or how I feel, and I'm not going to let them take me out of the game. That's one person. Even if it's 100 people. You hear it all the time. The only difference between an NMD and a brand partner is that we've heard no more times because we've been consistent enough to hear those no's. We've also gotten a lot of yeses, but you get a lot of yeses by making a lot of contacts. You only get about 1 yes to 9 to 10 no's. So can you imagine how many no's I've had to get then? Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. So, just take what you've learned to this. We're not going to do a run in February. We're going to take a break, but that's your practice. Like, that's your month to really see the fruit, like see all those seeds you've planted over the last 90 days kind of come to life. But it's also that time for you to practice what you've learned. All right. And then we'll start again, and we'll probably do another one in March. or start of March. I do want you guys though, because this is the last time I'm actually going to talk to you as a group. I would love to hear feedback on what you liked and what you didn't like, what you would like to see in the next one versus what especially those of you who have done a run with us before, is there something that you really liked about this one that I just want to get some feedback as I plan the next one. Do we want to keep it this way? Do we want to maybe tweak the old way a little bit? So if you guys could shoot me some feedback, that would be awesome. Be honest. I want you to be honest. I'm honest with you, and I expect that back. So if you could do that, that would be fabulous. So, does anyone have any questions at all or anything? Okay. I know this was a longer Zoom, so I really appreciate it, and I know it's late. All right. That's all I really have. I hope you guys have a fabulous week. Let me know if I can help you with anything. If you've got Class A prospects you want to throw together a party, we will find a leader to close it for you. But let's really rock this out. You guys are all in that group, or all in the swag bag group. So let's get as many points as we can. I'm excited about handing those out and sharing those with you guys. So let's do this. I know I'm closing several parties for people that are on this already, but let's keep partying, peeps, because that's how I did it. I mean, we just partied and contact and samples out all the time. It was just repeat. All right. All right, guys. Have a great one. Have a great week, and let me know how I can help you. Bye.
Thanks for everything.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.